Hi everybody, Red Hill Eagle here, and welcome back to the channel. This is episode 15 of A Broken Heart. It's WCW 1998, and it's Monday, week 4 of March. It is the go-home show for Uncensored, our next pay-per-view. At the end of this episode, I'm going to put up the card for Uncensored, or the card so far. I might introduce a couple of other matches on the night, but they're not kind of going to be particularly important. Probably just be sort of fillers. But yeah, I'm going to put the card up. It was an idea from Greg McNeish. Sorry, I couldn't remember your name when I recorded the last episode. But yes, Greg McNeish, who commented and said that he enjoys doing predictions, and maybe some others of you might also enjoy that. It might be quite cool. I also said that I didn't want any of my sort of decisions to be swayed by what you guys predict, but that was a ridiculous comment because I'm recording way in advance now. So whatever you guys put down as your predictions, I'm gonna, already recorded and done that show and everything, way before. So yeah, let's crack on with this one. It's Nitro, and we start off with Ric Flair. And he just says that he's delighted that he's going to finally get his hands on Chris Jericho. Jericho thinks he's a has-been. Flair, at the beginning of our save, sort of announced his retirement. Some people have tried to convince him that he's, shouldn't be retiring. He's still got a lot to give. Still a great performer, but Chris Jericho didn't think so. And he said, it's about time, really. Make way for some of us youngsters. You're a has-been. So ever since then, Flair's, got some more fire in his belly, I suppose, and perhaps wants to keep going, and he wants to get his hands on Jericho, and he will do it uncensored. This is a rating of 74. And then Chris Jericho appears with his doctor, and I've taken on Terry Power, and I've just given her the name of Dr. Powers, kind of in a manager role. This is a one night only deal, but I might just try to take her on just for a few more weeks, just to sort of see how it goes. But basically, Chris Jericho says, "Look, I'm not doing so well at the moment. I've had a couple of injuries. The match isn't cancelled. We're still going to go with it, but we're going to have to change things up. This is on the advice from my doctor, and we're going to have a timeout match. And Ric Flair's obviously, what's a timeout match? And Chris Jericho sort of explains that at any point during the match, if his doctor feels that he needs a timeout to recover or to look at a certain injury, then he's allowed to do that at any point in the match. Ric Flair can do the same, but of course, Ric Flair being a face, we're not really expecting him to be doing that. So, a timeout match, yeah, we'll see how that goes. This recap gimmick changes is bound to just be the Dr. Powers gimmick. We'll have a look though, but a rating of 65 for this angle. I can only imagine Dr. Powers has brought that down. And a gimmick of awful. Do you know what? I actually just completely forgot to look at the gimmick for a one night deal. I just didn't sort of think to look. But oh well. In the ring, Glacier takes on La Parka in our opening match. Rating of 38. Yeah, it's two jobbers basically, but I was kind of looking at the roster and kind of looking at the people we want to push and the people that I've not really used much over the last couple of weeks, and La Parka stood out and wanted to get him a victory. That's all this is about. Gene Okerlund interviews the Giant, and he says, Eddie Guerrero needs to be taken down a peg or two. Guerrero interfered in the Giant's match last week with Scott Hall, and so the Giant is just explaining then, that it's about time someone took down Guerrero, just knocked him down a couple of pegs and put him back in his place. Rating of 71. Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton take on Chavo Guerrero Jr. and Stevie Ray. We're still lacking faces in the unimportant roles. When I sort of took on a few jobbers, I probably just didn't take on as many faces as I thought. So I'm going to kind of revisit that. So we were kind of like literally left with Chavo Guerrero and Stevie Ray. I mean, Stevie Ray obviously is now split with Booker T. And I just thought, well, there's nothing stopping him from having other matches and even tag team matches. So I thought I'd just put these two together. But it's Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton that get the win in 6 minutes 36 when Arn Anderson pinned Chavo Guerrero Jr. with a spinning spinebuster. Yeah, rating of 64. That's not too bad considering these two are jobbers and these two aren't particularly high up the card. Gorilla Monsoon, backstage in the studio, announces that tonight's main event Eddie Guerrero will take on Randy Savage. So maybe some people in the WCW booking committee feel that, Guerrero does need to be taken down a peg or two. So he will take on the legend that is Randy Savage. And that's a rating of 59. We then got a backstage angle with Steven Regal and Terry Taylor. They're discussing tea. We found out a couple of weeks ago that they both have a mutual interest in tea. And we can see backstage that they're getting on very well, and they're talking about the different tea that they're trying, and maybe they're studying the bags, and I don't know, whatever. This really was just a kind of another setup to build the foundations for when they form their tag team. Also, just to give them a little bit of pop, so I thought I'd stick the NWO in there, and the NWO just come in and they say, basically, get out of this office. We need this office now. We've got a very special guest coming to see us. Maybe not guest. Guest is the wrong word. We've got someone very special coming to see us later. We need this room. Out your pop. Off you go. Rating is 66. So this literally was just an angle for these two. Another sort of forming of the tag team angle, and just give them a little bit of pop by sticking the NWO in there. But they do need that room. They are being visited by someone a bit later. Booker T takes on the Demon, rating 48. Very disappointing actually. Decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Booker T defeated the Demon in 12 minutes 27 with a missile dropkick. This was just to get Booker T on the card, get him a victory. Again, I was looking at people I want to be pushing, and his name came up, and I had to give him a match. And then we've got the NWO again, and their special guest, or whoever it is they're meeting with, you can see him on screen already, Six. He has returned to the company, returned from injury, and Hogan sort of welcoming him back and back into the fold, and here's Sid, he's joined the group. It's a very different group now to when you left. We've got Sid with us now. And Six, we're so glad you're back. We hear you've got a match already tonight. That's fantastic. Wish you the best of luck. Go out there and get them. Rating of 77. Handle changes. I know what that is. I don't want to do that just yet. It's nothing too secret, but I'll leave it quiet for the moment. And then Six takes on Rob Van Dam in a rating of 58. Yeah, another poor one. Disappointing. Rob Van Dam's still unimportant, and I think Six is probably only recognisable. Again, someone I want to get over. Rob Van Dam, give him a victory, and he gets the win in 10 minutes 8 seconds by pinfall with a 5-star frog splash. Six wasn't happy with this one. He was very unhappy, shall we say. Probably taking a bit of a hit to his morale, but wanted to get Rob Van Dam over. And then post-match, the NWO come down to the ring, and they basically start beating on Six. They're sort of talking to him first. You're useless. You lost your first match coming back against Rob. Who's Rob Van Dam? And basically they kicked him out of the group. And the whole idea, as we know, is sort of getting rid of the NWO. Maybe not completely, but we've already got rid of a lot of their members, and we're sort of down to this now, kind of 4 or 5 if you include Rick Rude. So just wanted to get Six away from the NWO. This is a rating of 78. Bret Hart, Sting, and Savage sort of come down, and basically they protect Six. They see that he's basically getting picked on, getting bullied by 4 guys. Although I had these 3 rated on entertainment, and I had Sid rated on fighting. Kind of like Sid's the one who's going in to do the dirty work. Kind of you're the muscle, you go in and do the dirty work. But the Alliance come down and help Six. Six actually appreciates that help, and he ends up celebrating with the Alliance afterwards. We're going to handle these changes. We are turning Six, turn babyface, and we have also given him a new gimmick. I think I just gave him like the Flash gimmick, because he's a bit of a cruiserweight. He's a bit flashy. So, he's now a babyface. Rating of great, which is obviously fantastic. And the turn was a complete success. So, just wanted another face in there, really. I've not got any particular plans for Six. I've just re-signed him for a 1-year deal. Yeah, he kind of came back from injury. Didn't want to just completely ignore him, but I have also convinced him to increase his size. So when workers do that for me, I honestly do kind of think I want to give them something back now. So he might get a little bit of a push. We'll have to wait and see. Rating is 78 overall on this one, though. Backstage, Liz is seen checking on Bret Hart. He got a bit of a nasty punch in that brawl there, and sort of on the cheek or side of the face, and Liz is checking on him. Nothing more to say about this. I think it's no secret that we're going to transition to a Bret Hart and Liz kind of partnership. In game, they are dating, so it makes sense to bring that in. Rating of 54 though, pretty disappointing. The Faces of Fear take on Prince Ayukia and Ray Traylor. Yeah, just to get another tag team match on the card. Ray Traylor does have a match Uncensored, but I think following that, it's doubtful we're going to do anything with him at all. He'll end up being a jobber, I think. Originally, I thought it might be nice to get him up to sort of mid-card, but do you know what? There's just so many people ahead of him now. But the Faces of Fear get the win here in 8 minutes 45 when Meng caused Ray Traylor to submit with a Tongan death grip. And that's an overall rating of 63. Gino Okerlund interviews Liz, and he's asking, which corner are you going to be in at Uncensored? Will you be in Buff Bagwell's corner, or will you be in Lex Luger's corner? And although she does talk in this segment, I've kind of avoided her talking because her stats aren't great. I thought, well, it's kind of unrealistic to not have her say anything at all in all of these interviews, unless you make a real joke of it. So she speaks, but she doesn't give anything away. And it's a rating of 65. Hollywood Hogan takes on Bobby Blaze. Just kind of realised probably haven't had Hogan wrestle for Probably haven't had Hogan wrestle for a while. So just wanted to give him a match and a match that he can dominate as well. But it said here he got the pinfall with a low blow. I don't remember putting it down as tainted because against a jobber he just wouldn't have needed to cheat. But anyway, maybe I didn't put. Maybe I just didn't put anything for that. I honestly can't remember. But rating of 51, I could look it up. Why don't I just look it up? Does it tell me? I don't think it actually tells me though, does it? It doesn't say whether I asked him to. It does. Decisive. I said decisive. I didn't put pinned. But decisive means, yeah, but I'd have thought a low blow would have come down as tainted. But anyway, there we have it. Rating of 51. And then we've got pre-match promos from our main event guys, Eddie Guerrero and Randy Savage. Nothing special about this one. It's just pre-match promos. Rating of 67. And the match delivers quite well, 76. Yeah, I mean, we're still not hitting the 80s I'd like, but 76, isn't too bad. Eddie Guerrero gets the win in 15 minutes, 7 seconds by submission with a gory special after interference from Kevin Nash. So, yeah, I wouldn't normally have Savage quit as a babyface, but he did have that interference from Nash. Rating of 76 I'm quite pleased with, but this was to get Guerrero over. This gave us another kind of another main event match we've not had. Yeah, so I'm quite pleased with 76. Maybe in an ideal world it wouldn't have been the main event, and 76 would have been a really nice kind of middle of the card match. But there we have it, 76. What do we get overall? $66. That's so bad. That's so bad. Getting really frustrated. It's just going on, isn't it? It's just going on and on. Still wanting to get some people over, and it's still got this thing with the storylines. As soon as this main storyline is over, between the Alliance and the NWO, I can start having a few more top stories, because all our top guys at the moment, pretty much, are all in the same storyline. Doesn't help. Right, I'm not going to sort of finish this show, but I am going to bring over the card for Uncensored. Right, so this is the card. It's the final card. As I say, on the night, if I've got sort of spare minutes or, if anything else sort of crops up, I might add in a match or two. These are the important ones. These are the ones that I've already pre-booked. These are the ones I've already pinned down, clamped down the results. Again, unless I have a change of heart last minute. Sting defends the World Heavyweight title against Scott Hall. Diamond Dallas Page defends the United States Heavyweight title against Raven. And in a World Tag Team title match, the Steiner Brothers, the current champions, take on Mortis and Wrath. We've got Eddie Guerrero taking on Ray Traylor. Kevin Nash taking on Randy Savage. We just saw Nash cost Savage a match there against Eddie Guerrero. We've got Buff Bagwell taking on Lex Luger. Conan against Roddy Piper. Chris Jericho takes on Ric Flair. Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton take on the Faces of Fear. And Bret Hart takes on Hollywood Hogan. Now, these aren't in any particular order. They are literally just the order that I've written them in my notebook, apart from the title matches, which I've just put to the top because it makes sense to have your title matches at the top. Everything else, it's just the order that I put them in my notebook. They're not necessarily the order I'm going to have them on the show. So yeah, a bit of fun then. Put your predictions down below and let me know who you think is going to win or lose or draw, or could anything else be happening in any of these matches. Have to wait and see. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please do all the nice stuff like liking and subscribing and tell all your friends about it. And I'll see you all again soon. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.